David Dobrik has announced his return back to YouTube, you guys, and this is something that I was not expecting at all. I mean, we're gonna get into it. All the times that Jason Nash talked about how David is retired, he's living his best life, he's doing all the things he couldn't do when he was on YouTube before, editing the vlogs every day. So to see that David, in the middle of his lawsuit with Jeff Wittek, is coming back to YouTube is actually just so wild. He randomly announced it on TikTok. We're gonna get into what's been posted, how people have been reacting, everything. David hasn't posted a video since 2022. He left the internet shortly after he got online to address Jeff's accident in a podcast episode with Jason and Natalie. Jeff ended up suing David around this time, and since then, David hasn't really been online except for posting on Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, but definitely not on YouTube. Earlier this week, David posted a TikTok where he responded to a comment that said, "Upload a YouTube video, I miss the vlogs." And in his caption, he said tomorrow and also showed his computer where it looked like he was editing a vlog. And what do you know? He ended up posting a vlog, the first one since, like I said, 2022. The video was 14 minutes long and it was titled "Surprising Friends with Body Transformation." And though it seemed like maybe this would just be a one-time post about him doing a whole fitness journey, at the end of the video, it kind of felt like David was back for good and was going to start posting vlogs again, maybe. And I only say that because he shared that him and Jason were bringing views back, and with that information, it just feels like he's trying to be back, like how he once was, at least in some capacity. Like, I don't see him posting all the time now, but maybe more frequently than a 2 or 3 year gap between videos. And the person who is the happiest about this, I'll say, is Jason Nash, given that he spent the last couple of years trying to do his own thing and has been clowned online for battling on TikTok, asking people to send him gifts. So I'm sure that with the return of the podcast, he is beyond thrilled. I mean, it looked like he was pretty thrilled when he was crying because David did include in his vlog telling Jason that they were going to start the podcast again, and he was very emotional. And with them doing the podcast again, it makes me wonder if David finally took the deal that Jason has been talking about in interviews. Not too long ago, Jason joked about how David was turning down millions of dollars to do this podcast just because he didn't want to.
I missed the podcast. I miss the money of the podcast.
I see Jason say this on a TikTok clip like every other week.
What do I do?
He turned down $10 million deal. I see you say that on like TikTok clips all the time.
Oh, yeah.
With you,
that's like a joke for my act that I say, which is, he turned down all this money and all he had to do was talk to me once a week for 40 minutes, like.
And in the same podcast, they reflected on the fact that David was just enjoying life now, whereas before he was always focused on the vlogs and was finally living his life.
The thing is, like, David's in this like moment in his life,
where he can do anything,
where he just parties like every day. Like, genuinely, if there was a party every day, Jay, he would be at it. Not kidding.
Yeah.
And he'd be drinking, having a good time.
Yeah. But if you think about it, though, from 18 to like what, 23, 24.
Oh, he was hitting it.
He never drank. I don't think he ever drank. Yeah, never did anything. No. I just remembered he would like, even when we would visit him, we'd be up till like midnight, just like watching the edits, just like, hey, is this part better or this one's better?
Yeah.
And then he would have everyone just crowd around his bed. I just remember that. I was like, I thought that was insane.
Yeah.
And now it's like the complete opposite. Everyone's like working, and here's him just like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And it's like a Tuesday night.
So to see him come back was really a shock. It's not without its calculations though, as the whole vlog really surrounded his fitness journey following the Zila fitness program. And Zila was created by David's friend Ilya, and David has invested into Zila, and it seems like this was all one big way of pushing it out there as they are relaunching the app for it. So that seems to be the answer as to why he's posting now. They spent all last year filming this documentary to go along with his whole transformation, and he was vlogging the whole time. So now that, he's got the results, now's the time for him to post this. In the vlog, David shows tons of footage of him and some of the Vlog Squad members traveling the world together, and still still doing crazy stunts, like they drove this car into a pool and Jonah is seen swimming in the pool. I assume he was driving the car. Then we see him show off his weight loss and everyone's reactions to his new body. And of course, it wouldn't be a David Dobrik video without a SeatGeek sponsor and a giveaway, right? So he gave away Teslas to his Dobrik's employees, and later Mr. Beast joined him and gave Ilya a brand new car. He said that he had a bet with Mr. Beast and that if he had lost weight, Mr. Beast would have to give Ilya the car, and if not, then David would have to buy thousands of dollars worth of Feastable chocolates. Now, midway through the vlog, though, was when he did announce that him and Jason would be bringing their podcast back, and right now it seems to only be returning to audio listeners. And David explained that it's just way more comfortable for him to not be on camera for the podcast.
Feet are by my ears.
9 or 10 rubber duckies around us.
No, it just feels better.
Nat, can you turn around, please? Thanks.
It feels better like on audio. Because I remember also when we went to video, it felt like the audience was like, oh, this isn't how I imagined it. It feels like when you like read a book and then you watch the movie.
Yeah.
And you've like had a completely different perspective of it.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's cool that like the audience can imagine us doing this naked, or in New York, or in the Alps, or like, I don't know. I'd rather just hear our voices and there's no commitment to watching on video. And I just feel so much more relaxed that I don't feel the need to be on. Like, I flipped off Natalie 3 times during this entire podcast, and no one will ever know. No one will know my little microaggressions because it's hidden behind.
Well, maybe you can stop that. Stop flipping her off.
David also vented about his feelings on vlogging on the podcast and how he wants to make the podcast his thing now, to which Jason thinks that he's just messing with him, as we all know how much doing the podcast means to Jason.
What are you going to do now? The vlog is out. The doc is out. What's up? What's up for the rest of the year? You going to travel again?
No, I'm done with traveling.
You're done.
I wanted to focus on this pod. Just kind of give I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking with you. I don't know why you think I'm kidding. You think I'm like coming into this podcast like, you think I just fucking threw it? You think I just threw it at you? Just because I was just like, I need a bit for the vlog.
Yes, I do.
No, that's not what it was.
Okay, cool.
No, I genuinely wanted to do it.
Oh, that's good.
And it just so happened that then I was like, also, vlog. Let's combine it.
Okay, I got you.
Like, I'm being honest.
All right.
But that brings me to another point why I don't like making vlogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is because sometimes it'll get to the point where, like, it feels like you're checking things off in a vlog. Uh-huh. Like, you're like, I need a car surprise.
Yep.
And then you're looking around and you're like, well, we've given cars to everybody. Who
We've
do
run
we
out.
give one to? Which we actually came. This was a problem that we had this vlog. We were like, who do we get a car for?
David did try to address why the podcast went away, but of course he couldn't say anything like, oh, being in a major lawsuit and all the backlash sent me away.
Oh, I don't know. I just wasn't like not to be dramatic, but I wasn't in a place to conversate with Jason. I wasn't in a place to look at him. No.
It was a bummer. It was a bummer because but it's great that it's back. I mean,
yeah,
people ask me about it all the time.
I feel really energized now.
Good.
Like, I feel like
you're different now.
I just have more energy.
You have more energy. Even last night, you were like, "Let's do the pod." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, like I don't do daytime naps. I want to talk. Like I just like even if there's nothing to talk about, I think I just like my mouth moving. And that reminds me of like, do you pray?
In the actual documentary the Zila account posted of David's transformation, David is seen saying the reasons that he wanted to do the whole health journey was for a vlog. But what's interesting is that at one point in the documentary, David is seen saying that one of the things he values the most is his friendships with people, which I'm sure Jeff is just thinking like, that is so BS.
Most important thing in my life beyond everything is my friendships I have with people. Like, I value hanging out with my friends above everything on the planet.
At the end of the doc, David talks about gaining wisdom and learning and growing from his past and trying to be this better person, which obviously hasn't gotten the best response because we all know how this lawsuit is playing out between him and Jeff. And in a lot of people's eyes, Jeff has not gotten the justice he deserves for his accident.
The only thing I do know is that I've learned a lot from my past. I've definitely gained like wisdom from it. I've gained lessons from it. Like, I can't change anything from the past, but like, I can carry all that into the future. And I still have the same goal as I did before, to make people laugh, make people smile, include people in a good time. And I want to continue doing that. And I think making this video, working on my mental health, transforming my body is all one step closer to me adulting, becoming the better next step version of myself.
And David has obviously been promoting this vlog on social media. He tweeted out the link to the video and Jeff replied saying, do hairline transformation next and get to court. And hopefully Jeff does get his day in court where justice can be served, because it's just crazy to see David out here talking about growing and being better and how important friendships are to him, and then to know what's going on with him and Jeff. Okay, hi you guys. I'm popping in because I'm editing the video right now, and there has been a leaked clip of the Casey Neistat documentary that has come online tonight. It feels really strange and weird, this timing. I also had another theory about why David Dobrik wanted to do the fitness transformation and the whole documentary to go along with it. So I'm gonna play this TikTok that I made of me talking about my theory right now, because this is just wild. A clip from Casey Neistat's documentary on David Dobrik was just leaked onto YouTube, and I kind of have a weird feeling about all of this. David Dobrik came back to YouTube today. He did this whole fitness transformation, and I'm literally editing my YouTube video on this, and I was sitting here and I was thinking that's very interesting that there was a documentary alongside his vlog that he posted, because every time Zila Fitness does a transformation, there's a documentary. And I was just sitting here thinking, okay, maybe one of the reasons why David wanted to do this was because if you type in David Dobrik documentary, this will come up, the Zila documentary. Because there's so much conversation surrounding the documentary that Casey did on David Dobrik, and a lot of people wanting him to release it and see it, because Jeff Wittek has said that in the documentary, David is basically blaming him for the accident that we have seen in footage where David is driving the excavator and Jeff gets injured. So anyway, it was just very interesting that I was having this theory, and then suddenly tonight of all nights, 3 years later, there is a clip from this documentary leaked onto YouTube. I don't know what this means, but the timing of this is crazy. I could totally be off here, but like, what if Casey was planning on putting out the documentary and David knew that, and that's like the timing of the whole comeback in the fitness documentary? Because what do you mean this documentary was seen by a couple people who attended or bought an online pass to South by Southwest back in 2022, and suddenly now there's a leak? Casey said he did not want to post this on his own YouTube channel and that he never got distribution for this movie. Like, is he planning to leak it himself? Because who is posting this clip? Because this clip is literally just the beginning of the movie. And I feel like if somebody was trying to leak the movie, they would leak the most important part, aka when David is talking about the things that he was canceled for. The whole thing is just really weird, and it has me just thinking to. But that was David's return back to YouTube. I certainly want to know what you guys think about this. The fact that David decided to do this and some of the things that he said, especially in that documentary. Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.